what do we have?
Thanks, Hussein. So thanks to everybody for attending the first part of this where we identified problems. Of course, we don't think that's useful unless we can identify some solutions. So what we're going to show you is an example of applying some of these concepts and findings to software. Some of what you're going to see today are screenshots, early concepts. Some of it is working software. And you know, we will be clear about what's what as we go. But again, if you have any questions about what you're seeing, ideas, thoughts, please put them in the Q&A, and we will set aside some time for the Q&A at the end. So without further ado, I would like to stop sharing and introduce my colleague Pan Kantidara, who is our senior developer and tech lead, and she's been instrumental in building the demonstration that you're about to see.
In the past few years, we have been gathering a lot of information and multiple feedback from people who has been through a flood. And we came up with a responsive web application built using mobile first approach. So what that means is even though the application works and support desktop device as well, we decided, keeping in mind that the user will most likely be on their phone while accessing this application, and some of them may even be on the run, like literally. So the goal is to make the app as easy and quick to access as possible. And since it's a web application, the user does not, the user can just simply go to a web browser to access the application. So regardless of whether the user is on iOS, Android, Windows, or even Linux, no installation required. And the user can access the public information on the app without having to log in to authenticate themselves. Well, imagine the user is experiencing a flood. They wouldn't have time to install the app or sign up for an account. So on the homepage here, on the homepage of the app here, we have an easy access menu. They are not hidden behind a hamburger menu, a drop-down menu, making it very clear to the user on what they are looking for. And here we have a checklist of actions for them to take in various situations. So let's say if the user wants to prepare for a flood, they would tap on this before tab, and we have two checklists here for the user to follow. And during the flood, the user can go to this during tab and find out more about what they need to do. This number 8 here represents the action that they have completed for the risk mitigation. And once a checklist is completed, or once all the action is in that checklist is completed, then this red number will turn into a green check mark. So the action could include anything such as like call your insurance, report the damage, or like stay away from down power pipeline. And each of the action has a detailed steps on what needs to be done. And while the user once the user completed this action, they can click on this button and say, I completed this. This button states that well, obviously they have completed the action. And after the flood is settled down, the user can see the guidance on how to recover from the flood, or at least like a guidance on how to help them recover from the flood. Other than what's on the checklist, the municipal or trusted authority could also communicate with the users by sending a push notification. For example, maybe to notify them if the water is safe to drink. And this notification will be sent from a back office collaboration portal, which I will show you in the next few minutes. And so the next feature we want to show you is the news features. And here we have a curated news and social media feed regarding the flood in the area. As you can see, I guess this is where the trusted authorities such as emergency response official, fire department, anyone, some NGOs can publish verified content. So this social, you may see like a Twitter, or it could even be from Facebook. The social media feed here are not coming from like a random account. So it has to be linked and verified through our backend portal. And some of the news here would be public news, for example, coming from CBC. And this content here represents what trusted authority can publish directly onto this page as well. And over here, we have included a report of the water level from the past 24 hours. This report was built with Tableau report. It could be any kind of report, doesn't have to be the water level, but this particular report here could be a factor to a possibility of a flood. And the map here, as you can see, we have the map on the navbar as well as on the main menu. We decided anything that we want to give the user like an easy access, we want to put them on the navbar as well as in the menu. So this navbar is where the user can access from any page in the app, doesn't matter where they are. This map currently showing the emergency centers around the area according to the user's current location. As you can see on the map here, there are multiple layers which we can turn on and off depending on their current situation. And we have a toggle up here as well. So it depends on if are they in a flood and they need help, or if they are a kind neighbor looking to help others in the flood. And once they toggle this, the type of layers that we present them will change. And the users choose to display the emergency center at the moment, but they can choose to view other layers like vehicle consultation. So this layer was created by our sister company, TerraAura, to give the user the insight on which area has a lot of vehicles, and so that they, as a user, may want to avoid the traffic during evacuation, for example. And over here, we have the community signs, which another interesting feature is that we allow the user in the flood area to post an image and put in the description about their experience or anything that they see out of the ordinary. This app, well, this part of the app use the user current location as a default, assuming that the upload is in real time. So once they add the image, put in the description, we use that current location. However, the user have a choice to maybe take the photo, go back home or somewhere where it's safe, and upload their observation later. And when that happens, they could find their location on here or pin it on the map and like point back to where the location was that they observed this experience. And so this crowdsourced data could help us with things like flood prediction, or understand the flood in the area even more and the impact that it caused. Another useful feature, or another use case that I could see from this this feature is, let's say if a user see like a broken road due to a flood, and they want to make a report to like a government body or anyone who takes care of the road repair. This could be the same form that they would submit that kind of repair notice as well. And so other than the functionality that we have seen, there are things like events and contacts. So the events could be a calendar of flood related events happening around the area. And this could be anything like a community class to help the user prepare for the flood, or a conference to increase awareness in the neighborhood, or even a flood drill. And the contact section here, it allows the user to easily contact the authority in regard to the flood, or if they need help with the recovery. Instead of having to search for the right number to call, the user can make the call right from within the app. All of the information you see on the app here is controlled, as I mentioned, by a trusted authority portal collaboration like back office, which I'll show you in a few minutes. Stay tuned. So this is the portal that I mentioned about, and this portal involves a lot more complex data input and features. So the portal is designed to be used on a laptop or a desktop computer. The first thing you'd notice here is that every user requires to authenticate to get into the portal. Only a verified user can log in, and that's how we can control the accuracy of the data, and any input or any output that we display to the public. And let me log in here. So after the login, as you can see on the homepage, we were looking at like a similar menu as what we have on the public side of things. However, if we go to the checklist section, this is a totally different view. This table represents the data input with statistic on how many user has completed at the checklist. And over here, we can create a new checklist. And inside of each checklist, we can view the actions that belong to the checklist with the number of the user that completed this particular action. And we can add a new action information along with any possible attachment here, including images, any kind of documents, which could help explain the steps of the action, or it could be a general form that they need to fill in and submit to a government body or their insurance. And you can edit this row in case there's any changes or an update of a document. So let's move over to the report section here. This report section, like on our portal, we have access to a more advanced report, things such as like data such as precipitation. This report dated back 5 years. So the data on the report dated back 5 years. The user can hover on any of the charts or adjust the filter, and it will show you the information about that exact data point. This could be very useful for an internal data scientist. And yeah, and again, this report here is just an example. We could display any kind of report on here. So over here, we also have the map. However, this is an interactive map that can display multiple layers at the same time. So at the moment, we were looking at the sandbagging region. We could view the fire station in the same area, zoom in and zoom out, and see the layers kind of lying on top of each other. The pins shows up in different color to differentiate between these few different layers. And as you can see, some of them, some of the pins here, or some of these layers shows a pin, some display as a circle. So we could display any kind of image on here. as a representation to that specific layer. And we could turn on as many layers as we want. And when it gets clustered, we could simply turn them off. And clicking on each pin here display like more information about that particular item on the map. And in this case, for example, it shows the fire station and the description of the fire station in Ottawa. And this map is a work in progress. We are working on adding more types of layer, things such as like a bounding box and an area, or even a heat map, and that's what we aim to do with the map. And we are working with our partner Terra Aura Monitoring on integrating their vehicle detection algorithm onto our portal. Using satellite images, we are able to tell the vehicle proximity around each of the emergency center. This information can be really useful in, for example, you could use it to redirect the residents to the nearest least busy emergency center, or it could also help with coming up with an evacuation path. And over here, as I mentioned earlier, as a trusted personnel, you can control all of the information that is being displayed on the public-facing application, as well as anything that shows up on the map or even in the portal. And here is an example of how you can view, create, and edit those data, such as an emergency centers. And we support different roles and fine-grained permission in our application. Each of the user allowed on the platform may work a different role in an organization, or different level of jurisdictions may want to work, may want to collaborate together. For example, here we have the federal government who may be putting up some information limited to like federal governments, and working with the city of Ottawa or Gatineau. So these roles and permission could be tailored around the roles, like according to, I guess, according to who they are in like in terms of jurisdiction or organization. And our app is built with multicultural countries such as Canada in mind. We aim to support as many languages as we can. At the moment, the user can switch between English and French. So if I were to switch this to French, as you can see, the label and the menus and all the data here would turn into French. I personally don't know French, so I'll turn it back to English now. And that concludes our demo for both the public-facing application and the internal portal to help prepare for the climate change impact, such as a flood. So using our software factory, we will be able to generate any kind of data-powered software like this one within hours. I'll pass it back over to Nick for more information about